Well, welcome back, y'all. I told you today it's going to be a day for the next hour and a half. We're going to be sharing from behind prison walls. We're going to give these inmates inside Texas an opportunity to share just a little bit about what's going on and what they want us to know. And that's it. We have to be that change that we desire to see in this world. For those that do not know, I am one of the co-founders for the Free Texas campaign. And what we're trying to do is bring light to some of the things that is happening in the state of Texas and to those that are incarcerated. So, with that being said, we have another amazing individual. He's had the opportunity to be a part of one of my Monday morning motivations. So, some of you guys have heard him before. He's back again to yet share because he has a lot that the world needs to hear. And I'm going to move out the way and give him the opportunity to introduce himself and to share what it is that he would like to share on today. If you would introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Good morning to your listeners. I pray that everybody's well and blessed and at peace this morning. Last time we spoke, you asked me a question about if there was any words, positive words I can share with the people out there listening. And it was towards the end, and I didn't have much time. So I would like to keep on that note. Being in prison for 25 years, it's a lot of things have been revealed to me as far as what brings people to prison. Right? The choices that we make, the bad choices that we make. A lot of it has to do with the lack of identity. Lack of identity. When you grow up and you have no sense of who you are, what you want to do in life, you fall to the wayside, or you fall to any wind that comes, and you get associated with certain people, certain circumstances, situations, ways of life that you become lost and aimless. So one of the things that I want to talk about today, the main thing is finding one's identity. Because I have a hard time with that. That's the reason why I am in prison, because I didn't have a sense of who I was. I committed crime here, and it took many years for me to really come to my senses and understand, what am I doing? What am I supposed to do here? What is my potential? Why am I wasting it? So these years that have passed have come understanding. Everything starts with us. Everything starts with us. Even in our relationship with God. The more peace that we have within ourselves, the more open we are to a relationship with God. Because without that inner peace, and I've witnessed it so many times with gang members, guys who are high suicidal risk, guys who are in close custody and medium custody, saying that they have no sense of who they are, so they're in survival mode. They don't have time for God. They're too busy surviving. And of course, this is true for everybody in life, but the majority of people that I run into, it is. So one thing that we help them do here is we help them understand who they are as a person. And the first thing to help them understand this is helping them to understand why they make certain choices in their life. It's called self-compassion. Self-compassion. Compassion is the understanding of the suffering of somebody else. Self-compassion is understanding our own suffering. Understanding that suffering is the reason why we make certain choices, traumas, bad experiences, thought patterns that we're stuck in. to react to certain consequences, circumstances in life, but have to stand. Okay? Once you're able to sit down and say, what's wrong with me? What's going on? Why am I doing this? I had to do that. It was like 10 years into my sentence, and I had to figure out what was wrong. Why was I so angry? Why was I so defensive? Why was I so aggressive? And I'm a small guy. I'm not a big dude. Well, the reason was because I had a little bit of confidence. I didn't want people to take advantage of me. So I would be very aggressive in the way I was doing things, the way I was talking. And when I came to God, which took a certain an extra amount of trauma that happened here at that time, I hit rock bottom. I found God. I gave myself to God. And I realized that the problems that I was having was a lot of internal issues. So it took many years for me to understand what these were and how to deal with it and how to work through them. And just realizing it is one thing, working through them is a completely different one. A lot of times things have to happen so we can see how we're going to react in a negative way, and then we choose to consciously react in a positive way. And that one reaction, this positive reaction takes, it's easier to make a second positive to respond. So with that self-compassion, that understanding of myself, I was able to have the courage to change. That's what we need. Once we realize certain things, we have to find the courage to make that change. So say we're at the beach, standing on the beach, and me personally, I don't know how to swim. I don't know why, I just never did. So we can look at this beach, and man, that's a lot of water. Right? So I have a certain fear of the water because I don't know how to swim. And I don't know what's under the water. It could be a jellyfish, it could be a shark. In my twisted mind, it could be some piranha that's going to be right on my leg. So certain fears I have to overcome. And I know I have to overcome these fears. So I choose to find the courage to walk into the water. For a lot of us, when we look at those fears, and we look at those traumas, and we look at the things that have forced us to just react certain ways our whole life, and we choose to change those negative ways, negative reactions. It takes an enormous amount of courage because that's what we're used to. I once asked a Christian brother when I first came to God, do I have to get rid of my anger? Be a Christian? He said, yeah, definitely you got to get rid of your anger. And I said, I don't know if I can do that. That's the only way I've been able to survive in this life. My anger is like a warm blanket on a cold night. And I'll feel naked without it. So for their addictions. For some people, it could be their desires. For some people, it could be certain ambitions. For some people, it could be certain fears. Whatever these things are that we're holding on to, we have to have the courage to let it go. We have to walk you is going to help us continue on. And then we need to start looking at perspectives that we've been holding on to. Yes, there's things that are under the water that mean no harm. The waves are getting bigger and they're coming from all sides. The worst case, we can float. A dead body floats. A living body can also. So understanding that there's nothing that can harm us. So certain theories, those illusions of that harm go away. And we can continue on. In life, when we look at the choices that we make, we have the courage to make that change. Say, okay, well, I want to get my life together. Then the friends around you say, how do you want to get your life together? You were going to church last week. You were going to church last week. You were hungover. You're chasing this over here, or chasing this drug over there. So that's where the third two comes in. Those are the waves. Those are the things that are in the water. Catch you off guard. You got more to help you make that decision. Yes, I'm going to church. When I choose to seek God, when I choose to say yes, and in time, I'm going to fall in love. And then I'm going to say yes to God as far as how I live. That's the point of conversion. Yes, God, I love you. Yes, God, I worship you. Yes, God, I will stop doing this for you. Yes, God, I will start doing this for you. And that's a new pattern that we can hold on to for the rest of our life. That one yes makes it easier to say a second yes. But that fortitude helps us with the temptation to say no. No, God, I don't want to go to church because of the way these people can look at me. No, God, I don't want to do this because I'm not ready to get that up. No, God, I don't want to be a hypocrite. That's what fortitude is. So when we change our perspective and the way we see these temptations, when I started coming to church on the streets, and I used to get that, we didn't go to church in the world. All of a sudden, I was still very young person. I was saying, well, that's why you're stuck on stupid, but I'm choosing not to be that way. Because at the end, I stand on my own two feet. You stand on your own two feet. All your listeners stand on their own two feet. And the fortitude helps us stand there and say, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I love. This is who I worship. This is where I want to go in life, and nothing's going to move. Doesn't matter how big the weight is. Doesn't matter what's squirming around my legs. This is where I stand. Period. Yeah. It takes fortitude. It's brought up by that initial courage. It's brought about by that understanding of that answering that one question. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? And to be honest, like I'm honest all the time. I tell guys all the time. When I'm facilitating classes, I cannot sit here or stand here and say that I have it all figured out. I don't. Anybody who does, piece of work, choosing to do the right thing every day. And do something else. So having that strength, push through, say, you know what, we'll continue on. There's going to be people around you that can see that. And they're going to encourage you. And they're going to support you. And they might even join the bandwagon and go to church with you, or study with you, or exercise with you, or to be sober for a day. I walked into a cell one day. I don't know. Like, I'm going off the story right now. I walked into a cell one day, and I had just finished reading a 5-page essay from this guy who, a 5-page essay on a book, Man Sexual Meaning, by Viktor Frankl. And it was a very impressive essay. And I had to go up to his door in the closed custody. And I asked him, hey, what are you doing back here, dude? Why are you back here? You got a head on your shoulder. Don't you know you have a whole life ahead of you? He's 21 years old. I'm 51. He's 21 years old. And I'm lecturing him. I'm really digging into him at that moment. Trying to help him understand. You have the potential to accomplish great things in your life, man. What are you doing? There's people your age running multi-billion-dollar corporations out there. And you're stuck over here in Chicago. Why? You have a head on your shoulders. You're young. So I've been going back and working with a friend of mine. He was facilitating a classroom. He's the one that had him write the essay. And he finished phase 1 of that course, and now in phase 2, and I'm the facilitator for phase 2. And now I work with him twice a week. And the person I ran into that day is different from the person that is today. So now we talk about this phase 2, but we also talk about God. And the reason is because he's more at ease. And here it's a very negative environment. It's okay to be bad. It's okay to do the bad. You can do a good thing too. The perspective has changed. Now he's looking at transforming his life. But he had to hit rock bottom. He's in a jail inside a maximum security prison. That's rock bottom. Can't get much lower than that. So when it comes to the words of encouragement I can share with people out there in the world is, don't wait to hit a rock bottom. Choose to do the right thing. We all have the potential to do great things, become great people. That's how God created. The reason why is because we lack things in our life. The greatness that is our potential is because we lack things in our life. And I mean that to say this, is that there's certain things that you can do that I cannot do. And I need you. There's certain things that I can do that you can't do. And you need me. That's how we go through life. We need each other. God gives us specific gifts and talents that are meant not everything, but you know what I'm saying. And that's how he created us to be. So when I say great, I don't mean the richest person in the world. I don't mean the most successful, where you're on the cover of magazines and stuff like that. I mean meaningful life, a life of purpose, a life of meaning. Like set us, give us the ability to be the example that can bring others to them, for themselves. The more we empower each other, the more we are blessed. If I empower you to be the best that you can be, you're going to benefit me by giving me what I lack. Another saying I like to harp on is, when I'm facilitating classes, I'm standing up there before a crowd or at a door. So I am perfectly imperfect. I am completely incomplete. And I am masterfully flawed. That's how God created me. And I'm okay. I'm okay because what I lack, you fill. You bless me with your life. And I work to bless you. And if we work to bless each other, we're going to do it. We're fulfilling God's plan. But it takes an understanding of where we are in life. What is wrong with us so that we can make the better choices that can develop our lives into blessing those numbers. It all depends on what we value. I ask guys in here all the time, what do you give me your main values? What the vast majority say, for my health, I value my freedom. So how will your actions live up to those values? Are you doing drugs? They look down, they shake their head. So is that value your family? Spending money for this stuff, right? Like valuing your health, your voice. You value your freedom. You're tempted to either don't throw stuff to the get a country or you catch them in free will case. How are you valuing these things? So that's one thing that we have to also reflect on. What do we value? And how are our actions reflected on these values? For some, it's harder than others, depending on the circumstances of living, depending on the situation, depending on everything. It's like experience in life. Some of them are starting from ground zero. They might choose to correct their lives today. They might choose to convert to God today. They might choose to stop addiction today. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get rid of those old lives too. It's be hard to overcome that addiction. It's be hard to overcome that bad relationship or association. And as you progress forward, slow, solid steps. Don't need to change everything. Slow, solid steps. What can I do today? What can I do right now? That's the biggest thing I talk. When I speak to people, that's the biggest thing. I want you to leave with something that you can do today. What can you do today? Something small. Something small. That one little yes. Stop using the drugs just for a morning. Maybe later on it turns to a whole day. Maybe 2 days after that. Etc. Try saying no to a bad relationship by association. Try going to church. Just once. But once a month. Maybe you can go to once a week. So there's things that we can do. The problem is when we face with these challenges as we move forward, and we sometimes fall, we lose our momentum, our courage, so you think. I'll just go back to what I know best. And the idea is to continue. Just push forward one day at a time. For the last, I would say like 5 months ago, I've been doing this for a minute. I've been facilitating classes since 2009. And here recently, I woke up in the morning and I didn't hate my life. Prior to that, I wake up, this place, I get these hallways, I there. But I would go on through the day and try to just several months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago, I finally woke up. And I was thankful. Thank you God for the day. Thank you God for the opportunities. Thank you for the challenges. And I will overcome.
You have 1 minute left.
So, that's the idea. Order to understanding where we'll come from. Having the courage to change it. According to the state course.
Well,
That's what I have to say there.
well, I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us once again. I look forward to, continued relationship and working with you as we launch this Free Texas campaign and get it off the ground. He's one of the driving forces behind this. So y'all just look forward to hearing more from us, and as we try to bring awareness to the things that is taking place in the state of Texas as far as the judicial system and the prison is concerned, because there are a lot of things that are going on that people are just not aware of what's going on. A lot of these things were brought to my attention over the last year or two. And just being in all honesty, I did not know a lot of this stuff was happening. When you're not someone that has been incarcerated. And one day y'all are really going to hear my testimony, because if you've not been incarcerated and have not had someone incarcerated, then a lot of us, we look at stuff and it's not affecting us, so we don't gravitate to it. But in reality, it's affecting us all, because when one of us hurt, we all hurt eventually. Because what do hurt people do? Hurt people hurt. So I'm trying to bring awareness to what is going on behind prison wall there in Texas. Hopefully that somebody will hear these things and say, okay, let's rally together and try to do something. Because if you can go on Google and Google corruption in Texas and all kind of stuff pop up, that's an issue when people are just sitting and just allowing it to happen. And then you have laws in place and they're not abiding by the laws, and they're not making sure that these laws are being are being observed. And when you outright violate the rights of individuals, it's all about human rights and civil rights and treating people like humans. They're not animals, even though they may have broken the law. Some of them, yeah, they deserve to be in prison. But because they deserve to be in prison does not mean that they don't have rights and that they should not be treated like humans. And this is what this is all about, the rights. So y'all, I want to thank y'all for listening. Please share this in your circle of influence if you would. But stay tuned. I have 2 more that's going to be coming through. Y'all, I told you it's going to be 2 hours worth of Free Texas campaign, Voices from Behind the Wall. So I'll be right back.